So we are going to start just having a tall, comfortable seat. And so Roberta and I were sort of talking about this when we came in, and then it sort of spiraled out. But like this morning or this week, I've been really thinking about this idea of constantly asking myself, what am I feeling? My brain can come up and get into any type of situation. And my brain's pretty smart. It can figure lots of things out. It can remember things. It can learn things. Fantastic is my brain. But a lot of times when I spend time in my mind, it can spiral things down in a way where anything that I'm feeling just gets completely negated. It gets completely lost. And then I don't know what I actually want to do because I don't know how I feel about it. So in our practice today, we are going to just spend the time feeling. And I'm going to keep asking you moment by moment, what are you feeling? How are you feeling? Trying to ground you in this body, in this breath, in this life. Because, I heard this thing, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 months ago. It was a reference to Thich Nhat Hanh. And it was this idea of you can't enjoy an entire orange if you can't enjoy one bite, right? I mean, mathematically, it's impossible. Sandy, you will do the math and let us know. But like mathematically, it's impossible. Like if you can't enjoy just a single savoring part of your experience, no matter what it is, whether it's an orange, whether it's your job, your relationships, your life, you can't enjoy the totality of it. And most of the time we can't enjoy the totality of it because we're up here in our head. Or at least I am. Maybe you guys have figured it out and I just haven't. Okay. So we are going to start by just coming on to our bellies. And I want you to make sure you've got 2 blocks and a blanket today. And I want you to lay on your abdomen in a Krasana, heads up, 7-up style. So heads towards the top of the space, feet towards the back of the space. Yeah, just at the top of the space. And the first thing I want you to do is you might cross the whole forearm on top of each other. You might just cross the wrist on top of each other. Your first task is to feel what feels better to you so that your chest feels a little bit lifted. And then you'll notice where you need to have the head rest. Is it comfortable, just the forehead on the top? Do you need to wiggle around just a little bit? We're really noticing how we feel versus what we think we should be doing. And then let's work down our spine into your hips. And do you need to shift your hips a little right to left? And then, yeah. And once you've done that, I want you to continue to work down through your feet and see if you want your feet with the toes pointing towards each other and the heels splaying out, or do you want the heels towards each other and the toes splaying out? And then once you've got that all going, I want you to take 3 big, deep breaths in through the nose and audible exhale out through the mouth. Yep, 2 more just like that. Big, big breath in and big audible breath out. Nice. 1 more just like that. And then at this point, go ahead and allow the lips to close, and you'll continue to breathe here for about 4 to 5 more deep breaths. And I encourage you to notice what you feel. Can you feel the support of the floor beneath you? Do you know which part of the thighs are touching the floor? Where do you feel the thighs touching the floor? Where do you feel the breath in the abdomen and the low back? Where do you experience the breath widening into the ribs? And then just for kicks and giggles, you'll take 3 more breaths on your own and just allow yourself to notice what you feel. How giving yourself permission to really experience the totality of the physical sensations of the body drops you into this moment, where you have the opportunity to savor this unique bite of your unique experience. At the end of your next exhalation, you'll gently lift your head, You'll plant your hands alongside your ribs, and then I want you to press yourself back to child's pose of your choosing. So maybe the big toes touch and the knees are together, or maybe the knees are super wide apart, but you'll take the child's pose of your choosing, and you'll take the opportunity to just give yourself this moment. So when you get to your child's pose of your choosing, are you still? Are you rocking a little bit from right to left? How is the breath in the body? And what do you feel in this moment? You've got 3 more breath cycles here. So continue to notice how you can activate your experience, how you can energize this experience so that you can ground yourself in this moment. Nice job, guys. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and come forward to hands and knees, tabletop position. From here, let's go ahead and walk our knees, ankles, and shins together. Tuck your toes under and start to press yourself back to your toe squat position. Now, some of you may keep your hands on the floor and just stretch the backs of the feet and be happy as a clam there. Some of you might sit up vertically. And we're going to be here for about 10 breath cycles. So I want you to notice if you want to be still, if you want to bring your hands behind your back and interlace the hands, if you want to reach one arm up, if you want to dip a chest, an ear towards the opposite shoulder to stretch your neck. But you're just going to feel into this moment, into this breath, into this body. And you've got, I don't know, another 5 to 6 breaths. So if you did something asymmetrical, by all means, please visit the other side. And anytime you notice your brain starts to turn on, that's okay. Brains are smart. Ask it to sit back for just a moment and just notice what you feel. You got 2 more breath cycles here. And then at the end of your next exhalation, you're going to come forward, extend the tops of the feet to the floor, pitter-pattering the tops of the feet if you'd like. Happy little temper tantrum. And then as you're ready, you might shift back and lift one end or both knees up and away from the floor for a counter stretch. Nice work, guys. Awesome sauce. Gently, let's come forward to hands and knees. I would encourage you to slide a blanket under your knees if your knees are sensitive, but you do whatever is going to work for you. This blanket might stay here for most of our practice, so that'll be up to you to negotiate. Awesome. Once you find yourself on hands and knees, let's just find some cats and some cows. And as you take about 5 to 10 cats and cows, I really, really, really want to encourage you to make these the slowest cats and cows you've ever taken in your entire life. So meaning you articulate through your tailbone, through your low back, through your middle back, your upper back, your shoulder blades, your throat, your neck, your face, your head, and then try it again from the other side. Starting with the crown of the head, rolling all the way through the spine, rounding into your cat, lifting bone by bone by bone up to the sky. And just notice how that feels. And so we're giving ourselves the opportunity to notice that sometimes there are certain aspects of life we want to fast forward through. We want to skip over like a scratch on a record and see if we can allow ourselves to experience every bit of it. You've got 4 more breath cycles on your own, just doing your cats and your cows. And I really want you to articulate through the spine as best as you can in this moment. Yeah. And then after you've taken your 4th exhalation, just standard cats and cows, feel into what feels good to you, whether you want to do some side body twists, some barrel rolls, whether you want to sit back in child's pose, anything that feels like it connects you to this moment in your experience in your life. And you've got about 4 to 5 breath cycles exploring whatever you happen to be doing. Nice work, guys. This is your last breath cycle here, and then find yourself to a neutral tabletop position. Fantabulous. All right. So with your hands directly underneath your shoulders, press the floor away, scoop the low belly in and lift your tuchus just a smidge higher. Now reach your right toes back along the mat, straighten the leg, hug all the muscles around the bone, and then walk your left hand forward about 1 hand print. Now you might come to the tops of your fingertips with that left hand as you continue to press down through the right hand and reach back through the right foot. Now let's go ahead and lift our right leg by squeezing your back butt cheek. Lengthen your tailbone back. Keep pushing your left hand down and forward into the mat. Now you might choose to stay there as you lift through the inner right thigh. Are you breathing? Notice what you feel right now. How does the balance feel in your body? If you feel pretty stable, you might stay here, or you might challenge yourself and reach your left hand forward. Keep kicking your right foot back and pay attention to the feelings. How is the hand interacting with the mat? How is the belly interacting with the spine? How is your breath interacting with all of it? The end of your next exhale, lower your left hand down, lower the right knee down, take a cat and a cow to cycle through, and just notice what you notice here. Awesome sauce. Next in-breath, come back to a neutral position. Again, push the floor away with your hands, scoop the low belly up, but lift the tail to keep a neutral spine. Slide your left toes back, tuck the toes under, squeeze the leg long. Walk your right hand, one handprint forward, and you might stay there with the palm down or come to the tips of your fingertips, then squeeze the left glute to lift the left leg up. Awesome sauce. Keep pressing down into the bottom of your left hand, top of your right shin. Notice what you feel. How does the floor feel? You might stay there or test your balance by reaching your right arm forward in opposition, and then notice your breath. How do you feel in this moment? Sensations are okay. We don't have to hide from them. The end of your next exhalation, lower the right hand down, lower the left knee down, tuck your toes under, lift your pelvis high, downward facing dog. Pause. Now in this down dog, I do want you to bend your knees, and then I want you to wiggle around here. So maybe you'll shift your hips a little right to left. Maybe you'll straighten one leg and then the other. You just choose to feel into the body, paying attention to the sensations that are here. Awesome sauce. Go ahead and come to a neutral spine. Keep lifting up through those inner armpits. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Yep, one more time. Big breath in. This time, exhale, bend your knees and walk to the top of your space. Awesome. When you get to the top of your space, your hands might come to your blocks or your hands might rest on the floor, whichever option works best for you. But I want you to bend just your right knee. Bend just your right knee. Let your head be a little heavier. Feel the sensation that's happening on the left, outside shin, calf, maybe back up the leg. And then inhale through center and then go to the other side, bending just the left knee. Are we breathing? How are our legs? Is our head super heavy? What do we feel? Yeah. Inhale, come back through center. And then 2 more times on your own. Just slowly noticing where the sensation is as you bend into one knee, as you feel the other leg straighten in opposition. And then notice if we can let the head go. Let the head be super heavy so the back of the spine can lengthen as we're stretching out our legs. Fantastic. All right. When you feel even between the sides, you'll go ahead and come back to center in stillness. And this time you're going to roll from your tailbone all the way up the spine, bone by bone, by bone, by bone, by bone, by bone, letting the head be the last thing to come to vertical. And when you do find your way to vertical, you'll take your time. I want you to notice how your weight feels. How do the soles of the feet feel on the floor? How does your pelvis feel in relationship to your feet? How do your shoulders feel in relationship to your hips, your ears in relationship to your shoulders? Fantastic. Let's go ahead and inhale, circle sweep arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinge forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Nice job. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your left leg long and back. Now from here, let's go ahead and make sure we've got a long, low lunge. Lift the back inner thigh a lot. Bring your right hand to the outside edge of your right thigh. Some of you might want to block underneath your left hand. That's totally up to you. Now from here, hug your outer right hip back, lift through that inner left thigh a lot, and then reach your heart forward. Yep. Next, exhale, push your right hand into your thigh into your hand, scoop the belly on the right side. Yep. And start to peek towards the right. Awesome. From here, you might stay here, pushing hand into thigh, scooping belly on the right side and reaching your heart forward. Some of you will reach your right hand to the sky. If you've done that, everyone shrug your left shoulder up to your ear. Draw the left shoulder onto the back. Yep. And then see if you can squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back. Lean your ears back, your head back, and open up. Nice job with the legs, guys. Take one more steady breath cycle here. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower that right hand to the floor. Step your front foot back to meet your back foot. Awesome sauce. Lower your knees to your blanket. And then I want you to, we're going to focus on shifting our weight forward today. So our shoulders come slightly in front of our wrists. Bend your elbows, hugging your elbows back towards the floor behind you as you lower the chest all the way down. And then you're going to come straight back up, keeping the belly up, doing that same thing you just did. Oh, I know that's not fair. Great. You're going to do 2 more of those. So shift your weight forward. As you come forward, the belly keeps lifting all the way down. And then as you come back up, the belly lifts to come straight back up. Same thing. Yeah. Nice job. Last one. We're building strength. Nice job, guys at home. Awesome. After you've done 3, we're back to downward facing dog. Yay. And then how do you feel? What do you feel? What are the sensations in your body? I'm sure lots of thoughts came up like, why the hell are we doing push-ups? Oh my God, this is hard. Why are we doing this? That's the thought. What are you feeling? What's the sensation in the body? Ow, love it. Ow's a sensation that's in the body. Let's stay in the body. Fantastic, guys. All right. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Nice job. Inhale. As you exhale, step your left foot to the top of your space. Yeah, awesome. So your right hand might want to come to a block. It might not. It's totally up to you. And then we're going to lift that whole inner back thigh, square your hips and draw the outer left hip back. Now let's make sure that we can hug our outer hips towards each other. Reach your heart forward. Bring your left hand to your left outer thigh. Now push your left hand into thigh into hand, scoop your belly, and then start to peek towards the left. Yep. Now from here, you might continue to push left hand into left knee into left hand. Let's all take that right shoulder here and shrug it up towards our ear and draw it onto our back. Yeah, now push down with that strength of the right hand, and then you might float your left arm up. Fantastic. Now from here, shoulder blades stay on back, head leans back, keep lifting through inner thigh. Yep. Take 3 breath cycles here and just notice what you notice. Yeah. Let's draw this hand forward. Yep. And then squeeze shoulder blades on back and rotate from chest. Yeah. I feel different. Okay. On your next exhale, lower the left hand to the floor. Inhale, gaze to the top of your space. Step to the top of your space. Uttanasana, forward fold. Happy days. We're there again. Now again, bend one knee and then bend the other. And this time you might notice that the sensation is drastically different than it was the first time. It might be the same spot. It's totally up to you where, well, it's not up to you where you feel the sensation, but just notice if you can feel the sensation. How is it the same? How is it different? Awesome. And are we breathing? Are our heads super heavy? Yeah. All right. Once you're balanced between the sides, go ahead and come to stillness. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Listen very closely. This time you're going to bend your knees and you're going to roll up to Utkatasana. So you're bending your knees, rolling up your spine to chair pose. Oh yeah, buddy man. And then we're going to notice what the sensations are. What do we feel? How do we feel our feet on the floor? Do we feel our big toe and our pinky toe? Do we feel the outer hips hugging in? Do we notice if there's any tension around our neck or shoulders? Are we breathing? We're not breathing. That's okay. Can we feel our breath? We've got 2 more breath cycles here. What do our front ribs feel like? Are they splaying out or can we draw them in? Nice job. Next, inhale, push down, reach up. Perhaps you look up. And then exhale, open the arms out to the side, all the way back to your hips. Great. Take a moment, notice what you feel. How's the body? How's the breath? How are you? We are so much more than our minds and the thoughts that we think, but how often do we think, haha, well, this is what I'm thinking, so this is who I am? Nope. Whole life experience, whole orange. All right, inhale, circle sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Fantabulous. All right, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your right leg back. So it should be the same front leg that you just had. Now I want you to pause here, push into your front foot, lift up through the inner back thigh. Now you're gonna come up to high crescent lunge from here. Yep. Nice job, guys. Fantastic. And you've just got 3 steady breaths here. And so you're going to push into the front foot. You're going to lift up through that back inner thigh. You're going to reach up through the arms. Just notice what this feels like. Awesome sauce. On your next exhale, hands come down to the floor. This time, step back to plank pose. Awesome sauce. Great. So keep lifting through those inner thighs. You've got the option to lower your knees down or not, but you're going to give me 2 baby or full push-ups, your choice. But belly and thighs touch at the same time. And then belly and thighs lift at the same time. Ha-ha, look at us go. Aren't we so strong? What do you feel? What do you feel? What do you feel? Back to down dogs after you've done 2. What do you feel? What do you feel? The interesting thing is if we stay with our feelings, we can remember that things are temporary, that they change, that it just has this fluidity to it that I don't know if we always experience with our thoughts because we can remember the past. We can go back to the past in our head, but if we stay with the sensation, things only have a temporary life to them. All right, let's move on. Take a big breath in here and a big breath out. Another big breath in. On your next exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Fantabulous. All right. Now, again, press into your front foot, lift through that back inner thigh. And as you're ready, you'll inhale and come up for high crescent lunge. Nice job, guys. Yep. Wobbles are good. Wobbles are good. Wobbles are good. So, yep. And we're just moving around and we're noticing what we notice in the breath. How do you feel in that back leg? How do you feel in the front leg, front knee? How do you feel in your face? Yeah. On your next exhale, hands come to the floor. Step to the top of your space, Uttanasana, forward fold. Okay, and again, you might be still. You might bend one knee, then the other. You might try moving your hips this time and seeing what that feels like. And maybe your hips sway right to left. Maybe they don't. Maybe your knees bend. Maybe they don't. Maybe your upper torso sways. Maybe it doesn't, but let your head be heavy. Yep. And then as you're ready, come to stillness. All right. Inhale here. Exhale here. Next in breath, sit your butt low, sit tall, Utkatasana, chair pose. Fantastic. All right, so this is going to be fun. You're going to inhale here, and you're going to exhale and sweep your arms back. And then you're going to inhale and take your right leg up. And then you're going to exhale, sit both feet, both arms back. And we're going to do about 4 of these. Alternating sides, yep. And we're just seeing what it feels like. What does it feel like? You might notice that the more of these that we do, perhaps the easier that it becomes. Or not. But the body starts to learn. Yep. Fantastic. Should be our last set. Awesome sauce. This last time you come down, we're going to sit. Keep your butt low. Inhale, sweep your arms. 3 breath cycles. And you just pause and you breathe. And you notice if you're grimacing your face. And where's the breath? How do you feel the breath? Yep, audible sighs are great. Just lets tension go. Next in breath, stand up, reach up, look up. And exhale, open arms out to the side. All right, let's add on. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinge forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Nice work. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms. This time, step your right leg back. No, left leg back, left leg. We're alternating sides. Yep. Push down through your feet. Inhale, bring yourself up to high crescent lunge. Fantastic. All right. Now, we're going to try to add what we just did to this shape. So you're going to take a big breath in. You're going to exhale, shift your weight forward and see if you can keep that leg there. Ha-ha, yay. Go ahead and bend your supporting leg, cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh. Hands come to heart center and hinge forward at your hips. And we're just going to pause and we're going to breathe and we're going to notice what we feel on that outer left hip. Are we breathing? Are we breathing? Keep bending into your supporting leg. Yeah, flex through that left foot. Good job, guys. All right, let's go ahead and inhale, come back up, high, one-legged Tadasana. And then here's a reverse. You're gonna step that left leg back, coming into your high crescent lunge. Fantastic. Exhale, hands come down to the floor, step yourself back, downward facing dog. Great. Let's go ahead and inhale here, exhale here. And then let's come inhaling forward into planky pose. This time, exhale, lower through chaturanga to your bellies. Inhale through your cobra. And I want you to take 5 breaths once you get to cobra. So really fidget in your cobra. Notice what happens if you hug those shoulders onto the back, the elbows back towards each other. Really pulling the hands forward, the tailbone back, the feet down. And after you've taken your 5 breaths in your cobra, you will lower all the way down to your belly. Yep. Then you'll push up to hands and knees. And you'll go back to downward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. And then I want you to notice how you feel. What do you feel? Where's the breath? Where's the body? Where are you? What do you feel in this moment? How do you feel the clothes touching your skin? Where do you feel the hair touching the body? Awesome sauce. Next in breath. Let's go ahead and sweep your right leg up and back. As you exhale, step your right foot forward. Fantastic. Plant the right foot down. Yep. Inhale, gaze forward. And then exhale, step your left foot forward. Fantastic. All right. Inhale, halfway lift here. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, bend both knees. As you exhale, plant your palms. This time, step your right foot back. Fantastic. Root down through both feet, and then you'll inhale and you'll come up to your high crescent lunge. Fantastic. And are we breathing? Are we breathing? Are we breathing? Okay, now we know we're gonna step forward. It helps if you lean your weight forward to shift your weight forward to float your right leg up. Fantastic, guys. Then you'll start to bend your left leg, cross your right ankle over, hands to heart center, hinging forward at your hips, coming into this seated figure 4. And then again, what do you feel? What do you feel? Can you feel your breath? Can you hear your breath? Can you sense your breath? Nice job. We're going to come out of this. So you'll inhale, come back to that one-legged Tadasana, arms high. Yep, and then we'll reach our heart forward and lengthen our right leg back, coming into our high crescent lunge. Grimaces are okay. Next exhale, hands will come down to the floor. This time, step back to plank pose. Okay, go ahead and cycle through if you'd like or not, but we'll all meet in a child's pose once we're done. And then I want you to notice what you feel once you get there. Notice what you feel once you get there. And you'll just take 3 breaths. Notice what you feel once you get there. Awesome sauce. All right. From child's pose, let's come up to hands and knees. Or not. We're feeling the child's pose for a bit longer, so you guys hang out there for a couple more breaths. All right. When you're ready, let's come up to hands and knees. I would encourage you to put that blanket back if you took it away. Okay. Plant both hands underneath your shoulders. And this time I want you to slide your left knee back just an inch. So it's going to go away from you just an inch, your left knee. And then squeeze your left heel to your left butt cheek. Flex through your left foot a lot. Push down through your hands a lot and scoop your low belly up. And then I want you to lift your left thigh till it's parallel to the floor. Keep squeezing your left heel towards your butt. Keep kicking your left foot towards the sky. Keep lifting that inner left thigh faster than the outer left thigh. Yeah. And so once your glute starts to feel like, oh, I don't like this, Jessica, some of you will walk your right hand forward, one handprint. Now notice if that became more challenging. Some of you will stay right there. Some of you will come to the tips of your fingertips on the right hand side. Keep squeezing your left butt cheek. Some of you will stay right there. Some of you will float your right hand parallel to the floor. And we're going to breathe and we're going to notice what we feel. What do we feel, Mr. Glutes? What do we feel, Mrs. Glutes? Next, exhale, lower the right hand down, lower the left knee down, take a cat and a cow. Hello. What do we feel? People at home will probably, I hope you're doing okay over there. I can't hear you, so I hope you're doing okay over there. I got a head nod. Thank you, Barbara. Awesome. And then we're going to try all that on the other side. Hooray! Let's come back to neutral. Hands directly underneath our shoulders. Slide your right knee just a smidge back. Bend your right knee. Hug your right heel to your right butt cheek. Flex through your right foot a lot. Now push down through your hands a lot till your belly floats up. And then I want you to lift your right thigh parallel to the floor. Keep lifting through the inner right thigh faster than the outer right thigh. Flex through the foot and kick the heel up. Some of you will stay right here and be like, yes, this is fun, not really. Some of you will walk your left hand, one handprint forward. Some of you will stay there. Some of you will come to the tips of your fingertips. Some of you will stay there. Some of you will reach your left hand forward as you kick the left foot up. Keep hugging that outer right hip down to the floor. There you go. And breathe and breathe and breathe. As you exhale, lower the hand down, lower the knee down, press back to downward facing dog. Hooray. 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 And just notice, how do you feel? What do you feel in the body? What do you sense in this moment? Our ability to reframe anything is really based first upon grounding ourselves in the present moment. And in the present moment, we have sensations. Our minds can't know how to act properly if we don't know how we feel about something. And we don't know how we feel about something if we haven't checked in to ask what we're feeling. So it's just, I don't know, step one, I suppose. All right, let's move on. Inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. As you exhale, step that foot to the top of your mat. Now we're going to do a slight variation. I want you to turn both feet to face the long edge of your mat. So you'll turn to your right. Fantastic. Now, for most of us, we can probably keep our hands on the floor. Some of you might want to bring a block underneath you, but I want you to put your left hand underneath your face. Bring your right hand to your butt. Now I want you to push down so much into the left hand that your head and your shoulders and your butt are in the same line. So if you need a block to put your head, your butt, that's a really pretty color, that too, in one line, do that. Cool. Now with your hand on your butt and your head in line with your butt, I want you to draw your low belly in. And then you're going to start to pull your whole belly to the back of your space. So that's going to go to the right. But your hips are going to stay exactly as they are. So that hand on your butt helps you keep your pelvis neutral. Now, shrug the left shoulder up to your ear and draw it onto your back. Yep. Keep pushing down into the left hand. Scoop the belly up on the right side and see if you can rotate your whole chest to the right without moving your pelvis. Ha-ha, look at that go. Nice job. Some of you will stay right here. Some of you will reach your top arm, so that's your right hand, to the sky. But we're trying to rotate without letting the pelvis go. So the outer left hip's going to come back, and we're just going to rotate through the abdomen. And you might feel this more in your rib cage. No? Yes? Okay. Awesome. On your next exhale, let's go ahead and lower the right hand to the floor. If you're using your blocks, take them with you as you go back to the top of your space. Go ahead and lower your back knee down to the mat. Blocks are there if you need them. And then you're going to start to walk your hands up the front thigh. And I want you to really pay attention to this front foot. Push down to the center of this front foot. Push down into that back knee. See if you can suck both those points together. And we want to make sure our bum on the outer left side is really engaged. So see if it feels like, I don't know, jello, or maybe not jello, something not jello. And then you'll go ahead and you'll reach your right arm up. You just have some tone there. There we go. And I want you to keep pulling up from the pubic bone, pulling up so you feel a nice stretch here. Some of you will stay right here. Some of you will take a happy little side bend towards the left. And then we want to notice what's happening in our face. We want to notice if our ribs are spiraled a little bit or if it's completely flat. Awesome sauce. Next in breath, go ahead and come up to neutral. We're going to shift your weight forward. Your hands might come to your blocks or they might not. I encourage you to pay attention to what's happening into your back knee. You might shift your back knee back a smidge. Okay, same thing as we did before. You're going to bend your back knee and squeeze your heel towards your bum. Now you might need to turn your blocks up a tick and start to walk them back to bring you back up to vertical. Reach back with your right hand. I want you to draw your butt away from it. So you're going to push away, squeeze your butt to your heel to your butt. Once you found that, you might come forward. Are we breathing? Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, so we're looking for a stretch in the middle of our right thigh. Some of you will stay right here. Some of you will reach that left hand forward and maybe up for King Arthur variation. But wherever you happen to be is a-okay. Fantastic. Awesome. And then we're going to gently come out of this. So if you shifted your butt back, shift or forward, shift your butt back, release your right leg. Then lower the foot, shift the weight forward, plant the hands, and step yourself back to a downward facing dog. Down dog. Awesome. And then just notice how you feel. How do the legs feel? How do the legs feel? How does the pelvis feel? How does the back feel? And then what happened to your breath? Nice job, guys. All right, let's try the other side. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. And then exhale, step that foot quietly between your hands. Fantastic. Hands might come to blocks, and we're going to pivot to the left side of our mat. Fantastic. Make sure your feet are parallel to the short edges of your mat. And then you'll bring a block perhaps underneath the center of your face. Put the right hand on the block. Bring your left hand to your pelvis. And then you want to push down into the right hand so much that your shoulders are in line with your hips and your head is in line with your shoulders. Yep. And then from here, without moving the pelvis, push down into that right hand even more, scoop the belly and start to roll the ribs towards the space behind you. And so you're really rolling through the abdomen and through the belly and then shrugging that right shoulder, yep, onto the back. And then some of you will stay right here. Some of you will reach up through the top arm, the left arm for a twist. And then I want you to see if you can lean your head back. That's good, Barbara. Jason, walk your hand forward so it's underneath your face. Yep, and then shrug that bottom shoulder up towards your ear and draw the shoulder blade onto the back. Push down into the hand and rotate towards the left. Yep, draw your outer right hip back towards the camera so your hips isn't going into the twist. There we go. On your next exhalation, go ahead and lower that hand down. Hands might come to blocks. We'll pivot back to the top of our space. You're going to lower your left knee down. Fantastic. From here, we're going to start to walk our spine up, push into the center of your right thigh, push down into the center of your right foot, left knee, hug those points together. And then we're going to see if we're breathing. This is our psoas, so we might not be breathing. And so see if you can breathe. Where do you feel this? What do you feel? Some of you will stay there. Some of you will reach your left hand forward. And then some of you will stay right here, and some of you will take a happy little side bend to the right. But whatever you happen to do, just notice what you feel and see if you can soften into the sensation, into the experience a little bit more. Not yet. So that's our next one. Awesome. And then on your next in-breath, you'll go ahead and come back up to center. Let's go ahead and exhale, release our hands down to our blocks. You might turn your blocks up a tick. You might slide your left knee back a tick. And then you're going to bend your back knee, squeeze your heel to your tuchus, and then we'll start to walk our blocks back, bringing your spine up to vertical. You might now reach your left hand back to grab your left foot. Push into your right foot to draw your pelvis back towards your left foot. Hug the heel and the foot to get heel and the foot, heel and the hip together, and then maybe shift your pelvis forward to change the sensation on the front of that left thigh. Some of you will stay right there. Some of you will bring the right hand to the right thigh. Some of you will reach the right arm up. But you're paying attention to what you feel and how this is working for you. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're pausing and you're breathing. Nice job, guys. Awesome. And then as you're ready, if you went forward with the pelvis, draw the pelvis back. Release your left foot carefully. Come forward. Plant your palms, step yourself back, downward facing dog, and just take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to notice what you notice. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and lower your knees to the mat and rest for a moment in child's pose. Get a little reprieve before I make you do something hard. I got a chuckle out of that. And then you're just going to pause and you're going to breathe and you're going to pause and you're going to breathe. And I want you to just notice what you feel. What do you feel? Okay. Awesome sauce. All right, let's go ahead and sit up. And you guys are going to watch me for a moment. I haven't done this in a while. So we are going to bring our blocks to the top of our space. And we are going to do a chaturanga, sort of very similar to what we did at the very beginning. But you're going to shift your weight forward and you want to see if you can keep your arm bone, what would that be, parallel to the block as you lower your chest down. And then as you lift your chest up. If you really want to test yourself, don't put the blocks right behind your arms because then you can't cheat. And you're just going to see, make sure it's wide enough for your pelvis, but make sure you don't knock the blocks over and knock the blocks up. Or not. Give it a try. People at home, did that make sense? Yes? No? Cool. So you guys are going to give it a shot. You want to make sure your arms are coming straight back and your elbows are not winging out to the side. Your chest has to come super duper far forward in order to make that happen. The chest, the belly, and the thighs all have to touch at the same rate. Yeah, good job. So you can try one or two of those, keeping the knees bent. If you're a real glutton for punishment, you can try legs straight. But we're going to do it again, but we're going to come into Cobra for the next one, okay? So after you've done two, great. All right, let's go ahead and pause. So Sandy, keep the elbows hugging back. Yep. Great. Yeah. All right, let's come up. We're going to try it one more time, but you guys are going to watch me do something first. So it gives you a reprieve. So we're going to try that again, and I'm going to see if this helps for the people at home. When we do it again this time, we want to make sure that we're not going to hit the blocks, because then when you come forward, you have to come really super duper forward. And then this gives you the opportunity to hug the shoulder blades onto the back to give you this really crazy cobra. Like, it's very strange, but it gives you the opportunity to lift a little bit higher in the upper chest. because you have to hug the shoulder blades onto the back in order to clear the block. Give it a try. It's harder, I'm not going to lie. So if you find that you find sensations and you're like, okay, not a fan of this, you can always lower the knees down, but you have to shift the weight, super far forward in order to make that happen. There you go. Yeah. And then take your time in your cobra, 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 take your time in your cobra. And then you might lift into your up dog if you want, but you just notice what you feel when you do it. Nice. And then when you're done with that, you're going to go back to a little child's pose and you're going to relax. I loved that, Roberta. It's like I'm dying, no more of that. Okay, how much harder was that on a scale of 1 to 10? 4. That's good.
It's done because you hold it all the time, but if you looked forward, it was easy.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, so Jenny gave the comment. I asked how it was, and she said, I think verbatim, she said it was dumb because you tell us to look forward every time, but if you actually do look forward, then it's easier. And it is. You just have to shoot your heart forward, which is not the way most of us live our lives. But it helps in that shape. Okay, so let's go ahead and come forward onto forearms and knees. Forearms and knees. And you can choose to take a prayer, you can take a number 11, you can take whatever you want, but I want you to round your spines a lot, like little Halloween cats. Curl your toes under, lift your pelvis high, and you're gonna stay here for 5 breaths or however long you want. But you're gonna come into your dolphin, and you might walk your feet forward as far as you want to, and just keep pushing down through those inner, or rather whole forearms, lifting up through those inner armpits. These look good, guys. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're pausing and you're breathing and you're pausing and you're breathing. And when you've had it, you come down to a little child's pose. Nice job, guys, all around. Yeah, Robin, lift your outer left hip for me, just a smidge. So push down into your left forearm. Yeah, there you go, there you go. Awesome. And then when you're ready, you're gonna go ahead and lower down into a child's pose. And I want you to check in. How do you feel? How do you feel? You know, the irony is sometimes the things that challenge us the most really do have some type of positive feeling after the fact, but our minds can talk us out of even approaching those things because logically they don't make sense. Logically, they're hard. Logically, there's so many things that come up that can create issues. But physically, you feel something different. And so just notice what you notice in this moment. How do you feel? All right, let's go ahead and sit up. Swivel your butts to the floor. Swivel your butts to the floor. You'll probably want to sit on a blanket. Thank you, Roberta. And I wiggle walked my butt all the way to the front edge of my blanket. So some of you at home may want to do that as well. Okay, cool. I just realized there's a slight delay, so that's good to know. At least from what I'm seeing and what you guys are doing with what they're doing. So that makes me actually feel better. Okay, so we're gonna put our hands back behind us and we're gonna cross our left leg over the top of our right thigh. And then we're gonna step our right foot in front of us. Now we don't wanna come in too close because I want us to do what we did a few weeks ago. I want you to shift your pubic bone forward like it's gonna go over a cliff and then draw your left knee closer to your left shoulder. Flex through your left foot a lot. Keep reaching your pubic bone forward, press your left ankle against your right thigh, and then see if you can open your left knee away from you. It should change the sensation just a little bit. Okay, I'm getting some head nods. So you want to really think of your pubic bone going forward. Yep, draw your left knee to your left shoulder. Keep the pubic bone going forward, and then squeeze the left knee away from you. Towards me. Yeah. You have a lot of rotation in your hips, so it probably doesn't feel like much to you. But for me, like, I'm like, oh man, that's intense. Okay. And then when you're ready, we're going to gently come out of that. So we'll slide our right foot forward. We'll uncross our left leg. Maybe you'll wiggle legs in and out. And then we'll try that on the other side. So right ankle is going to cross on top. Slide left foot back. Don't draw it in too much, and you're going to reach your pubic bone forward like it's diving off a cliff, like a cliff diver. Draw your right knee closer to your right shoulder. Make sure you flex that right foot, and then press the right ankle against the left thigh as you open the right knee away from you, keeping your pubic bone going forward and keeping the weight on your left outer hip. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, we got a head nod on this. Okay. All right. So then we're just going to pause and we're going to breathe. And you really want to make sure at home your right foot is active, so your toes are pulling back to your knee. There we go. Yay! And Sandy's making a face. Hooray! We found something. All right, go ahead and slide your left leg long. Release the right leg. Wiggle the legs in and out, in and out, in and out. All right, last little thing. We're gonna bend both knees. Slide your left leg shin thing underneath your right leg thing. Brush your right foot outside of your left hip, and you might need to lift your pelvis up and slide your bum a little bit to the right. And then you're gonna hug your leg to your chest, sit as tall as you can through the spine, and then maybe hook left elbow around right thigh. Maybe right hand comes back behind you to the block or floor, and then you'll rotate here. And I want you to feel into this pose. How can you find something interesting about this very moment? There's nothing that you need to do other than sense into the experience that you're having, and then find curiosity about the sensations and the experience that you're having. What micro movements in your body allow you to feel into the totality of this pose? Where can you release any tension in your face, in your shoulders? Awesome sauce. On your next in-breath, you'll gently unwind. Hands come back. Release the legs. And we'll try the other side. And we'll try it on the other side. So bend both knees. Slide your right foot outside of your left hip. Left foot outside of your right hip. Go ahead and lift the pelvis up. And you might need to slide it. Mine had to go to the left for some reason this time. And then you're going to hug the chest towards the shin towards the chest. Wrap right arm around your left shin, left hand back behind you. And then take a few breaths here to explore what small movements maybe in the abdomen, in the ribs, in the shoulders, and the hip allow you to find a little bit more sensation, a little bit more ease. Nice job, people. Got 2 more breath cycles here. Maybe you soften the gaze or close the eyes. And just let yourself be in your experience. What do you feel? Yeah. All right. Very gently, you're gonna unwind. Unwind the legs. People in person, you're gonna turn around and lay on your back. People at home, you can turn around and lay on your back too if you want, or you can just lay down on your back. It's totally up to you. Bye, Julie. Have a good day. Bless you. And when you find yourself on your back, just take a moment to be on your back. And I want you to just notice what it feels like to be flat for a moment. So we started off on our stomach, on our back, on our stomachs in a prone position, and now you're on your back in a supine position, and just notice what you feel. Okay. Fantastic. As you're ready, let's go ahead and bend your knees, plant your feet on the floor. Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart. Bring your hands alongside your hips. You might keep the arms straight or robot the arms. And then as you're ready, you'll push down through the feet, the arms, the skull, lift your hips high. And I want you to feel into this. So some of you will just go straight up into bridge and hold. Some of you might want to go up and down a few times just to warm up through the spine, but you take the time you need to feel into this shape. I sometimes think that the reason why our minds aren't always as helpful as they could be is because we do, I guess what Erica was calling earlier, the comparative mind. We compare how we're doing as opposed to somebody else. But when we really feel into the body, when we really feel into our moment, we can make the adjustments that we need to make. And I think that when we do allow ourselves to do that, we can act with I don't know, a little bit more purpose and direction and intentionality. So you've got 4 more breath cycles exploring your bridge or mini bridges. And I want you to just notice what you feel in the shape. Where can you soften any tension in the throat or the face? And then when you were ready to come out, you'll untuck the shoulders, unclasp the hands if they were clasped, and come all the way back down. And then just take a moment to let yourself settle. What do you feel? What do you feel? Okay. Let's bring our hands to the tops of our thighs. I want you to push your thighs away from you, locking out the arms, keeping your butt on the floor, trying to find some traction in the low back. And it might just be that I have really long arms in comparison to my torso, so this works for me. If this isn't working for you, no worries. You could just take a few little pelvic mutations, rocks and rolls at the bottom of the spine. But some of you, this might work really well to just push the thighs away from you and find length in the low back. And then once you're done with that, you'll release. Go ahead and interlace your hands at the back of your right thigh. Bend your right foot up towards the sky, and you might take some ankle circles here. You might not. And if you do go one direction, please go the other way. And then notice if you're impatient with your ankle circles. Are you trying to rush through them, or can you really take some time to be with them? Yeah, there you go. Fantastic. And then those ankle circle people, go ahead and come to stillness. Push your thigh into your hands into your thigh. Some of you will stay right here. Some of you will slide your left leg along on the floor beneath you. And then notice what you feel in this shape. Can you really feel the back of the left foot, maybe the left calf, maybe inchworming the left thigh and the left hip to the floor? How does the weight feel in the left side of the pelvis versus the right side of the pelvis? What do you feel happening in your shoulders? What do you feel happening in that right quadricep and hamstring? Nice job. Next exhale, let's go ahead and bend our right knee into our chest. Open the right knee out to the right for like a half happy baby thing. Some of you will stay right here with the knee bent. Some of you might straighten the leg out, so it's almost like you're in a weird triangle pose on your back. But you just pay attention. How does this feel? Keep the whole left hip rooted to the floor. Yep, if you're trying to straighten that right leg out. Yeah. And then as you're ready, you'll gently release, bend that right knee, come back through center, plant the right foot on the floor, bend the left knee, plant the left foot next to the right, and then just notice, how's the right hip? How's the left hip? How's your right shoulder? How's your left shoulder? Yeah, okay. And let's try the other side. So hands come to the back of your left thigh, left foot reaches up. And you might stay here for just this thigh root with the leg straight. You might circle the foot very slowly one way and very slowly the other. And remember, whatever your experience is, it's fantastic because it's your experience. There's no need to rush through it. No need for it to be any different than it is. All right, those with the ankle circles, let's go ahead and come to stillness. You might choose to stay here. You might choose to slide your right leg long on the floor beneath you. If the right leg does go to straight, try to straighten the right leg as best as you can. And then notice what it feels like to really roll the right heel evenly to the floor. Yeah, the right calf melts to the floor. The back of the right hamstring tries to merge with the floor. Then notice what's happening in your right hip, in your left hip, your shoulders. Awesome sauce. And then did you stop breathing? How's that going? As you're ready, you'll exhale and draw the left knee into the chest. And then open the left knee out for a half happy baby. You might straighten that left leg out for like, I don't know, supine triangle pose or a wide-legged hand to toe foot. Yeah, and you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing what you notice here. Yeah, nice work, guys. And then very gently, you'll come back through center. You'll bend the knee. You'll plant the left foot on the floor. You'll plant the right foot on the floor. Okay. And then you might open your arms out into a T shape or a cactus shape, depending upon how much room you've got. Go ahead and open your feet a little wider than the hips. And then you'll slowly let the knees fall one way. And you'll slowly let the legs fall the other way. Now really notice how much you can really let the legs just windshield wiper in your hips. Those in person, you might touch your neighbor and that's okay. And then when you feel balance between the sides, you'll come to stillness in the center. And then we're going to take both of our knees to the right. And you're going to take whatever supine twist you want. So you might cross the right ankle on top. You might strain the right leg long beneath you and cross the left knee towards the floor on the right side. And you're going to just notice what feels good to you. Yep, and you just got 3 more breath cycles. And what do you feel? Can you feel the temperature of the air touching your skin? Do you notice the texture of the floor beneath your body? Can you feel the difference in pressure of where the hip is touching the floor versus perhaps your left wrist or left hand? On your next in-breath, gently release and come back through center. Take a breath or two here in center before you go to the other side and just notice, what do you feel? How does the right hip feel? The left hip feel? The spine and the shoulders? And then as you're ready, we'll take both knees to the left. And then you'll take whatever supine twist you want here. So maybe the left ankle crosses on top of the right thigh. Maybe the left leg lengthens underneath and the right knee crosses over. Yeah. Yeah. And you just pause and you just breathe and then you notice, how does the neck feel in this shape? What do you notice on the right side of your neck, the left side of the neck, the front of the throat? How do you feel across the ribs, the chest, and the abdomen? On your next in breath, you'll gently release the shape and come back through center. Take a moment in center to widen your feet outside of your hips. Let the knees knock in, and you might cross the arms over the body for a constructive rest. And I want you to really let the arms rest the weight of each other, and then on the chest if possible. However works for you. And then you'll just take 3 to 5 breaths. And as you're feeling into this moment, notice if there's anything else the body feels like it's calling for. You might choose to stay here. You might choose to explore that. But we'll wind into our last shape, which could also be Shavasana. So you'll just notice what feels like it's calling to you. And then as you feel complete, I do encourage you to make your way to your final resting pose. And as you find yourself into your final shape, the invitation is the same as it always is. And you notice what little movements you need to make in order to make yourself feel a little bit more at ease. It seems that in a society that really values the thoughts that we can generate, the work that we can create, but sometimes it feels like there's more emphasis on what we can mentally come up with. But the reality is that if we don't connect with what we're sensing and feeling, whatever we mentally come up with will have no real value or purpose. And so as you settle into this shape for the last few moments and the last few breaths, I want to remind you that this is the hard work of life. Really allowing ourselves to remain open to all experiences, trusting that there's a gift inherent in every single one of them. Go ahead and leave you on your own for the next few moments by yourself. And when it's time to come out, I'll let you know. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. If there's any part of you longing to linger in this shape, by all means, please stay here. When you are ready to move, allow movement to gently enter your physical form. Those in movement will start to make your way to one of your sides. Those in stillness, stay as long as you'd like. When you make your way to your side, just pause there for a few breath cycles. And then you'll slowly make your way to a tall and comfortable seat. When you find yourself vertical, I want you to just take a moment to sit well, making sure you remove any flesh from underneath the sit bones. And then stack your shoulders over your hips, your ears over your shoulders. Go ahead and turn your left palm to face the sky. Tuck your index finger into the base of your thumb, and then turn your palm to face your thigh. Turn your right palm to face the sky. Tuck your index and middle finger into the base of your thumb. Draw your right palm in front of your face. Plant the right thumb outside the right nostril, the right pinky finger and ring finger outside the left nostril. Go ahead and exhale the breath out through the mouth. Close your right nostril and inhale through your left. Top of your inhalation, you'll close your left and exhale out through your right. When you need to, you'll draw the breath in through your right. Top of your inhalation, you'll close the right and exhale out through the left. That was one round of Nadi Shodhana. You'll continue 2 more times on your own. I encourage you to just notice what the breath feels like as it comes in and as it goes out. Notice if you can stay with the breath moving at whatever long pace it feels like. And then the third time that you exhale out through your left nostril, you'll lower your right hand. And you'll continue to sit tall through the spine and breathe. And I just want you to notice what you feel in this moment. Emotions are nothing more than thoughts in motion, and so we just want to give ourselves a chance to feel them, to feel any sensations in the body. It's all welcome. It's all valid. We'll go ahead and complete our practice by bringing your hands to heart center Anjali Mudra. Really press the palms into each other. Receive the weight of the thumbs into your sternum and then lift your sternum to your thumbs. Soften your chin slightly to your thumbs and exhale all the breath. Take a big breath in. Audible breath out. Inhale for Om. Join if you'd like. To that light, to that breath, to that feeling and sensation, we bow. Namaste.